Honestly, it was a great way to finish it. It was a dream come true, and we were just, all the boys were really excited, and yeah.
Did you believe, you have to go in believing that you can do it, right? But, you know, with the setbacks you had the years prior, was that in the back of your head at all, or what was the different feeling this time going to OFSAA?
The entire time we were thinking about the last couple of years. We just wanted to not have it end the same way. A lot of the boys, like a lot of the younger guys, didn't really know about it, and we had to kind of open their eyes up, and Nathan Steckley made a video recapping basically the last couple of years and the setbacks and Haas's injury, and really broke it down and showed us that we needed to do it for the guys that were before us.
What did it mean to you, Elijah?
I mean, it meant a lot, just all the years going into it. Even from like a young kid growing up, just watching high school football, you know, like that's where you want to win, and doing it with all your friends, you know, like the guys you see every day. So, I mean, it meant a lot. It was obviously kind of bittersweet now that's over, but it was a really good journey with all the guys. What
was the confidence level on the bus on the ride up to Ottawa? You have to go in, like I said, believing that this is the year, but everybody around you, or a lot of people around you, have been talking about the past couple of years, wondering if this was the year. How did you guys just kind of avoid that stuff and stay focused on the task at hand?
Well, going into the game, we didn't know much about them. We didn't have very much film on them or anything, so we just try to focus on ourselves. We put a script together of plays. We tried to make sure everybody knew their job, and then, you know, we were pretty confident if we went in, we could compete with just about anybody in the province. So,
you know, Greg White has obviously been there for almost 2 decades coaching at Jacob Hespeler.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony Magiacomo, the defense doesn't get talked about a lot at Jacob Hespeler because the offense has been so prolific over the last number of years, but let's give some love to this defense too. Without Josh Gilpin and Logan Hall and Anthony Magiacomo drawing up all these schemes, you're not where you are. Can you speak to the defense, Aidan, and just how they're just so huge and they make such a huge difference, and without them, none of this happens?
If we ever found ourselves without momentum, or that we were down like in the North Park game or even against BCI at the beginning of the year, our defense would always come up with a big play and kind of get us back into it. Like, we could always rely on Stevenson, Gilpin, Logan, Martinez, like any of our core guys there. They would just step up to the plate, make a play, and then our offense would be right back on the field.
You referenced that Blueville game, and that was week 2, if I remember correctly. You always play your home game. Your season opener is always on the Thursday night at 7 o'clock at Jacob Hespeler. It's the same thing every single year. And you guys are confident going into the season. You have every reason to be, right? You've got, I think it was 14 fifth years on this roster. But you go into the Blueville game, and boy, was that a reality check? Did that help you long term?
Absolutely. Honestly, at that point, we realized that we're not untouchable and that we need to work hard for every single win. And honestly, we got a lot of motivation from that game from Button going down. We were really upset about that, and we felt that we needed to finish off that game really strongly for him. And Logan and Gilpin and Xavier once again stepped up to the plate at halftime and gave us a pep talk, and we went back out there and we played our game. We played fast and we played hard.
I think that punt return that Josh Gilpin had in the second half at Blueville, so Blueville punts it away. Jacob Hespeler was leading at halftime, but it wasn't the typical 21-28 nothing. They were up by, I forget what it was, but it was 5 points, or it was something relatively close, and the Blueville kid punts it away, and Gilpin catches the ball, I don't know, at his own 40-yard line or so, and you were not going to stop him on that play. He caught the ball, and he was simply gone, and you know, he's in track too, obviously, right? But you know, how much did that second half sort of really build the momentum and speak to the Button thing? Elijah, you see a teammate going down, and you know, that rally and that adversity that you guys faced not only on the field but off the field, you know, maybe that served you well long term throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you never want to see something like that, but I think it motivates everybody to step up, and he was having a really good year. I think in the first game he had 2 touchdowns. So
yep.
So after that, me and Quinn talked, realized we had to step up, and and Aidan, we all had to step up. So, I mean, Gilpin probably got the momentum back, got the ball like mid-stride, and nobody.
He was gone, man.
Yeah, nobody was touching him there.
Yeah.
I've seen kids get out of the way for him there, so that brought us back. But yeah.
Button suffered a broken leg in that play, and I thought one of the, and this is what I love about sports in general, but high school sports. He traveled to Ottawa with you guys. He was there. He got to put his hands on the OFSAA Central Bowl trophy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And when you think about what he's gone through the last, I don't know, 2 months, let's say, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it's been since he suffered that unfortunate injury, it's so awesome to see him be there and hold that trophy. And I think at the end of the games, your chants even were 1, 2, 3, Button, 4, 5, 6 Hatterstrong.
Yeah.
And I think that showed to me just the impact that obviously not only Mark had, a former teacher at Jacob Hespeler, but Button had on you as well, right? You know, what is Button like as a guy? You know, he's a great football player, but obviously he's one of your buddies and he's one of your best friends, and for him to be there must have meant a lot to you guys.
Mm-hmm. He's a great kid. He's really a motivated guy. I mean, he's still working hard to come back, and I think he'll come back next year and have a great year. So I'm really proud of how he's handled everything. He's pretty normal when you see him, but I mean, I can't imagine what he can be going through, because like you never know if you're gonna come back the same from something like that. So props to the kid.
What does Button mean to you?
Button is honestly like he's one of the boys, and like when you're playing receiver and you get that receiver group together, you guys just bond like no other.
Mm-hmm.
Every positional group's the same way. You see it with the O-linemen, you see it with the quarterbacks and running backs, DBs. You just bond as a team and bond as your individual positional group, and it killed us when he went down. And off the field, he was always motivating the guys, saying, "Come on, let's go, work hard. You guys can do this." Like, he was motivating not only the starters but the second strings as well. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that supported us all the way.
Who do you guys think about in your years of Jacob Hespeler football that you guys won that for? Because that was more than the guys on that team this year winning. That was a community win for Jacob Hespeler.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously the Jackson and Jared and Mario, those guys, because we played with them in our grade 11 year. Jacob Bradley and Darian Morgan, because we're close with them. But I mean, even the guys we don't know, like the James and I think Carlton, he was on that team. He was a crazy player.
Yeah, he was great.
So, I mean, to be the first team to ever do it's crazy. But I mean, we wanted to do it for the community, ourselves, the school, the coaches. I mean, Whitey's been there forever, and this is the first time he's ever won it. So we wanted to do it for a lot of us, you know.
What I thought was great too is that there were former Jacob Hespeler alumni in the stands. Mm-hmm. Darian Morgan, who's affectionately known as Mr. 41, for kicking a field goal against St. David in the Kawasa semifinal a couple of years ago. Darian Morgan drives to Ottawa. Mario Pineda drives to Ottawa. These guys support you, and it was just, for me, it's cool to see sort of the past and the present come together the way that it did, to have those past guys there to be able to celebrate it. Seth Robertson, what an amazing receiver he is. He's down south. You mentioned Quinn Robertson earlier, that's his brother. These guys came to be part of this. You know, who do you think about? Aidan? And Chris Haas, for me, is a name obviously that comes to mind right away, but there's probably, well, there's what, 45 guys on each football team? You know, think about the last 6 years times 45.
Yeah, I think about, honestly, a lot of the guys that I've known for a while, like Chris Haas, Mario Pineda. I've known him, both of them, most of my life. Darian Morgan, like seeing those guys' reactions after losing OFSAA the last 2 years, just it hurts. It hurts to see it.
Yeah.
And we really were motivated through them that was our goal, was to do it for them, because we don't want to have to finish our 5th year the way they did. And we wanted to make sure that they got the satisfaction of knowing that we did it for them. We did it, you know, for the community.
Yep. Let's give some love to the coaches.
Oh yeah.
Speak to the coaching staff as best you can. You can't measure the amount of time and the impact that these guys have had on your lives the last 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, our coaching staff, I feel like they could be a coaching staff for a university just with how dedicated they are and their knowledge of the game. So, I mean, to do what they've done the past 6 years and go to just the WCSSAA final, just to be in the championship for your region is pretty much unheard of in football. So, I mean, a lot of the credit has to go to the coaches, because without calling the good plays, you know, we can't do anything.
The other thing is, like, we weren't here the whole time. We were only here for the past 3 years. Whitey's been here for who knows?
Longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
Let's go that way.
And same with Stodds and Magic, and right, even from Paddock and Junior, like, our coaches basically built us to be the players that we are today. And without them, we just have talent. We don't have guidance. We don't have like play calls. We basically just have athleticism.
How did Paddock help you as a junior coach? That's his role as the head coach of the junior team, is to prepare you for the system that Greg White and Anthony Maggiacomo have for you in senior football. It's a system there. You guys are developing players from grade 9, and I truly, truly believe that's one of the reasons this program has been so successful over the last decade, is that it starts early and you're in the system. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. I think Paddock does a great job of just making you a football player and not sticking to one position, and making you all around more athletic. And you know, for a DB, you're not just working on tackling, you're working on catching the ball, footwork, everything. So and all the offense, defense is based on the senior. So I mean, to have the knowledge going into the senior makes it a lot easier.
And yeah, it's the same thing. Like, Paddock basically brings us into Whitey's plays, and that basically builds our knowledge for the next seasons. Mm-hmm. And like Elijah said, he turns us into athletes rather than just positional players. Almost nobody played the same position in junior as they did in senior, and yeah, like off season as well, we run like team lifts and stuff like that with Whitey.
What's next for you, Mr. Carter? What do you want to do here, and what are you looking at for football-wise?
I'm looking to play at the next level. That's always been a dream of mine, and it felt amazing to have some schools talk to me after OFSAA, and I mean, I'm open to all options.
Who are you as a player? Let's say a coach sees this on 519 Sports Online. Who is Aidan Carter as a player, and what do you think you could bring to the next level? I know the answer to the question. I've watched you the last 3 years, but you know what? Other people haven't, right? Whether they're out west, wherever they are. Tell me, who's Aidan Carter as a football player?
I've always been told that I've been a guy with a lot of heart, always committed to the game and building myself as a player. I've never been told that I wasn't coachable, and I've always been known as a hard worker.
You know what else you're good at? Making catches on the sidelines and keeping your tippy toe in bounds.
Yeah.
I've seen you see that too.
Yeah.
What is it about Aidan? What makes him talented?
Aidan, I think Aidan probably outworks just about everybody, and I mean, he's just a natural leader, and I mean, he knows his job, he does it well. He plays hard every play. Sometimes maybe he plays a little too hard, gets a flag, but no, we all have those, and we all get.
That's high school football,
yeah,
right? That's high school football.
It's just, I mean, that's what you want in a football player, is intensity, and I think that was a difference in our team this year.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just we wanted things more, and we went after it, and we got it.
Say your thank you to your parents.
All right. Well, to my parents, I want to say thank you so much. Right from the day I put on my equipment and you guys got me signed up, and I mean, I was scared. It was my first contact sport. Besides, I mean, I guess karate, but there was never really any sparring or anything like that. So it was my first contact sport, and they supported me the whole way, even though I was, 4 foot nothing, not 9 years old, and had no body mass on me. They still supported me through my dreams, and kept me motivated even in like lower times with injury and, you know, potentially like losing hope at some points, and they were there for me. So
Elijah Cruickshank, you got 30 seconds. Say thanks to your parents.
I just want to thank my parents for everything through my career, coming to all my games, paying for everything. We all know football is not a cheap sport, and just being there for me through everything I've had to go through in the past 18 years.
For more highlights, visit our website, 519sportsonline.ca. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.